and astrology. Tonight, I'm going to be reading for all signs for the week of July 13th through the 19th. Your biggest cosmic influence this week is going to be Mercury retrograde. However, we do have several retrograding planets currently. I did list those and post those on your screen. I chose Mercury retrograde as the biggest cosmic influence for the week because this is a personal planet and it is one that I feel you will notice more than the others. It does not mean that Saturn, Neptune, or even Pluto, who's been retrograde for quite some time, um, will not impact you this week of July 13th through the 19th. So I just want to point that out. We did talk about all the retrograde energy, guys. We talked about it on Tuesday night. So if you missed that, all that information is going to be over on my YouTube channel. I will timestamp, guys, and I will start with the fire signs. It's how I break them down between the fire signs, water signs, earth signs, and air signs. And I do want to mention before I get started that I am live streaming on July 10th, 2025. So the full moon in Capricorn is in full effect. I feel like I've been feeling this energy very strongly, probably for the last 3 days. Um, I think we all do feel these energies a little earlier sometimes than others. Capricorn rules my seventh house. And to say that I've had a full moon experience in my relationships would be a complete understatement, right? And that's been going on for me for about a month now. So, not too surprising when this energy peaked today. I had to go out into the world, guys, and I'm not a fan of it. It's the more I get into my spiritual awakening, the less I want to go out there. And that's weird because I used to remember when I was at Sisters on the Hill and I was like, oh my God, I'm bored and I need to see people. I'm definitely getting my fill of that, right? So it's for me, today felt like a Monday. It's one of those days where it's like it could go wrong. It did. I definitely persevered, stayed calm, pushed through, grounded, and integrated the entire way. So I just want to point out that when we're here and we're talking about spiritual awakening, I'm not coming out here and giving you like some magic answer or some magic potion. I'm not selling you any fancy oil that you can rub on yourself and all of a sudden all your problems will go away, right? I'm here because I'm having a spiritual awakening and I'd like to share that information with you. I like to read tarot because it is a tool and it helps me maneuver through my journey, right? So never going to come out here and tell you that I have all the answers, right? I'm always going to come out here and tell you this is my awakening. This is what I experienced today or this week. This is what spirit taught me, and this is what I integrated to get through, right? So that's just the honesty of the situation, right? I see everyone coming in. Welcome, welcome. Vanessa is joining us on Facebook. Guys, we are multi-streaming, so we are on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch all at the same time. I forgot to tell Sandra that we were not going to do TikTok. I'm actually going to do a special TikTok live tonight after this live stream. It is the full moon, so I'm going to be offering some Capricorn full moon readings over on TikTok. Guys, if you haven't followed me over there yet, you're definitely missing out. We have to do completely different lives over there for a little while longer before I can add it to our Love and Astrology and All Signs. So tonight will be Capricorn full moon free readings. Links are always in the description box for all my social media and anything else that is PLR related you might need. All right, I'm going to jump right in. I'm going to let you guys know what cards I'm using tonight. I'm going to start with the Blessed Bee Oracle. I know normally we use these for guidance cards, but I feel like this is such a challenging full moon, and this is going to be a challenging retrograde season that we need all the blessings we can get. So we're going to do the entire spread with the Blessed Bee Oracle tonight. I am going to clarify with the Gilded Tarot. That's what I chose for tonight. And I've chosen the Soul's Journey for our guidance cards. And of course, we will close out the readings with the Moonology as we have since the beginning. All right. I know it's a lot of jibber jabber. I'm trying to get through them a little bit quicker, right? So let's timestamp Aries. Guys, I'm home alone currently. So I've got the door open. The dogs, you know, like to come in here and see why I'm talking to the computer, right? So if you hear them, um, you know, my apologies. And I imagine that sometime in about an hour or so, maybe 30 minutes or so, my son will be home. At that point, I will shut the door. But I'm in Kentucky, guys. I don't know if you can hear my fan going in the background, but it is, the heat wave has broken. So it's not like miserable out there, but the humidity here is always stifling, always. All right, so let me timestamp Aries. All right, let's do 5:50. So Aries, this is for July 13th through the 19th. I'll tell you what else, guys. As soon as we're done with this live, when I go to set up the TikTok live, I'm gonna order that microphone that everybody sees on TikTok. Have you guys seen it yet? I'm getting it. I'm ordering it tonight. All right, energy of the week. We have a blessing on a new venture coming out. It's number 20. Challenge or obstacle. We have a blessing on your boundaries. Lesson learned. We have a blessing on your day. That's that grounding energy I was just talking about. And the outcome for Aries, we have a blessing on your wisdom. Look at Aries grounding and integrating what they've learned on their spiritual awakening journey. A blessing on your family is on the bottom. It's number 15. Right now, Saturn is in Aries, guys. Hi, Sandra. So Saturn is Capricorn's ruler. So we're having this Capricorn full moon that I'm live streaming right now. Remember, guys, we're looking at the week after, right? The week after. If you want to check my accuracy, that video is already posted, right? But we are live streaming on this full moon. So this full moon is just right in my face, right? But Saturn is the ruler of Capricorn. And Saturn is in Aries. Saturn does not like being in Aries. Saturn feels like it's having to compete, like it's having to watch its back. Because Aries is a fighter, right? Aries is a get in your face type of energy. I didn't realize the camera's not going over enough. Hopefully that's a little better. So Aries, this full moon is hard for you. This is what I'm trying to say. It's been a challenging full moon for Aries. All right, let's do a blessing on a new adventure. We have 3 of Pentacles. Look at that. Aries, you're having to do something on your own and having to get the courage and the bravery to do something on your own. 3 of Pentacles is here. I chose the Gilded Tarot before we started. 3 of Pentacles, normally when you look in Rider Waite, it's the card that shows them all at the church, you know, and they're all working together. And it's the card that says, I respect you and you respect me. And we're going to share ideas and we're going to work together and create this thing. And we have a common goal, right? The 3 of Pentacles in the Gilded Tarot is exactly the same meaning, except for there's not 3 people. He's by himself. So Aries, most likely you're having to do something on your own. And you're having to learn, I guess, to do something on your own. It's very possible because you have this blessing on a new venture as the energy of the week that you have learned how to do something on your own. I want to use myself as a quick example here, Aries. First, I never come out here and tell you guys that this is for your sun, moon, or rising. There is a reason for that. This is my spiritual awakening. I do all 12 signs because all 12 signs are on my birth chart, and I understand that we are much more than just our sun, moon, and rising, right? However, Aries is my sun sign. It is why I start here first. Normally, most people start with Aries because it's the first sign of the zodiac. You're the leader. You're the one that goes first. You're the one that goes first by yourself. You can't go first with someone else. That's the lesson that I've been learning. All right. A blessing on your boundaries. It's number 33. So 33 is always my favorite card in any oracle set because that's my favorite number, of course. It's in your challenges or obstacles because I feel like you're struggling to um, enforce boundaries. We all create boundaries, right? We always say, um, like we create the boundary, but then we don't enforce the boundary. People walk on the boundary and then we don't speak up for ourselves. And that could be the energy that is here. I feel like I had this little bit of a testing on just really right minutes before this live on boundaries. Um, it's interesting when you're creating something or you're building something. People think it's a hobby, right? People think it's a hobby, and they don't realize that it actually brings you income. And, and it's, sometimes the reason we get to go to Taco Tuesday, right? So I definitely had to run some errands and then, get my butt home for this live. Um, and I had to enforce a boundary in order for that to happen. Justice is here. So justice is Libra energy. In Aries, it says there's been a great injustice and the scales need to be balanced back out. I feel like this has something to do with the new venture. I feel like it's possible that you weren't enforcing your boundaries. You weren't able to do something on your own. And that's why you were struggling to start something new or get something to take off, is what I'm hearing. So with the Three of Pentacles and the Justice card here, this is kind of telling me that it's very possible this Capricorn full moon has forced you to integrate, right, to ground what you've brought down, right, from your awakening, and use it into the everyday life, right? That's what I mean by grounding and integrating. If you're using it in your everyday life. Blessing on your day gives me that grounding energy. You see how she's hugging that tree? I know we talk about that all the time. We kind of joke about it. Hi, Dina. But when we look at the actual meaning of grounding, for the longest time, guys, I thought it meant like, take your shoes off and go outside. I thought it meant go out and hug a tree. It's so much more than that, right? It's so much more than that. But one time I was having a moment, a conversation with Spirit, and Spirit said, it's more than that, Rosa. Grounding means that you take what I give you from up here and you take it down there and you put it into the ground. You put it into your everyday life. You use it every single day. The High Priestess comes out, so big confirmations there. This is a knowing, so it's like you know how to ground yourself. And I just want to say, if your challenge or obstacle right now, Aries, if you haven't gotten this far and you feel like you're struggling to enforce your boundaries, um, definitely could cause some injustices there, right? But this is what's going to help you. This is what's going to help you with that challenge or obstacle, the knowing. And the knowing is the grounding. The grounding is taking what you've learned about enforcing your boundaries and implementing it into your present moment, right? So a blessing on your wisdom is the outcome for Aries. We have Four of Swords. This is a healing period, and it does say that it's a blessing in disguise. It's very possible, Aries. I'm getting a little bit of like this energy, like this has already happened. And for some of you, Aries, this, like I said earlier, some of us feel the energy is way sooner. Some of us feel it, while it's happening, and some of us feel it way after. But I feel like I'm talking to an Aries that a lot of this has already happened for you. You've gotten to integrate what you've learned. You've gotten to show Spirit and the universe that you know how to stand up for yourself, fight for yourself, and enforce your boundaries. And I feel like you've been in a resting period, and very possible that that's Spirit giving you confirmation that this is a blessing in disguise. All right, guys, I just need to hit a couple buttons just real quick. All right, Aries. So let's pull some guidance. I'm so glad I pulled these Blessed Bee Oracle out. I got to keep an eye on my phone and my laptop. Just just in case my son calls. All right, guys, let's do guidance for Aries. All right, we have forgiveness coming out. I acknowledge that harboring resentment blocks the flow of love. And we have the worry card coming out. I'm learning that worry doesn't change an outcome. We also have humor on the bottom, which talks about laughing at yourself and making light of a situation. The forgiveness definitely could be something that's coming your way. I'm not necessarily feeling like it's something that if you're offering forgiveness, Aries, it's going to be to yourself for not enforcing those boundaries sooner, right? Most likely you worried that people would get upset or that it would cause a problem. And then what happened was you realized that you were going to experience that problem anyway, right? All right, let's do Moonology to close it out. Jenna, welcome. All right, Aries, we have be bold and make the first move. It's the cardinal moon. That's really what I wanted to talk about at the beginning, and I forgot. See, the spirit always has my back. Um, so it's the cardinal signs, guys. It's the cardinal signs. Capricorn moon. Um, if you're Capricorn, of course, this moon is kicking your butt, right? It's helping you get into alignment. So it really depends on how you see it. You could see it as it's helping you. Like Saturn, you're used to Saturn's discipline energy. So it's like you could see it as an extra, um, you know, an alignment that's making things easier for you. But if you're an Aries, a Libra, a Cancer, or a Capricorn, yes, right, then it's also impacting you and impacting you in a very stern way. We have a new start is coming on the bottom, so big confirmation there. So that's where I get this energy, Aries. Like some of you, this is confirmation of something you've been doing and you've already started to see some of those fruits, and Spirit's just saying, keep going, right? All right, I'm going to leave that right there, Aries. I hope that was helpful. I'm going to clean up and we're going to move on to Leo. Just in time, Jenna. You guys, I can't handle the cord today. Let me know how the sound is. Can you still hear me? And how bad is the fan? And I'll try to speak up because I feel like sometimes I'm trying to be quiet or like not talk as loud as I normally talk. I don't know why, y'all. Like I'm a loud person. But I was watching some TikToks late last night and I heard people's fan going. And I was like, what? What? Like you're loud? What? You can have a fan? I'm always so worried about it. You know what I mean? It's like, nah, no. Tina says it's okay. All right, Leo, here we go. We're going for it. Let's do 1848. And remember, this is for July 13th through the 19th. I picked Mercury retrograde as the biggest cosmic influence, guys. This is the one that we're going to feel the most. We're going to see it. We're used to Mercury retrograde. We deal with it regularly, right? It's an inner planet, so it impacts our personal everyday life. So that's why I chose Mercury retrograde. But I want to point out on your screen, I've posted all of them. So I'm not saying that you won't feel energies from that. I'm just saying that I think you're going to notice Mercury more than the others. When Saturn kicking your butt, you may not realize that it's Saturn doing it. You see what I'm saying? All right, Leo, let's get energy of the week. So we have a blessing to find truth. Ooh, you want to know something? Let's see it, okay? All right, challenge or obstacle. We have a blessing on children. It's number 11. First thing I want to say, and Leo, it could have something to do with children. It may not. I don't know. But I got a feeling that it doesn't, because whenever I see this card, a blessing on the children, and it's number 11. Remember, we're here having a very specific type of spiritual awakening journey, and the number 11 is very significant to our spiritual awakening journey. So whenever I see this, I get a couple of different feelings. A lot of times when you're having this particular type of spiritual awakening, where you're balancing your masculine and feminine energies, um, a lot of times you create something, you give birth to something, um, as you come out of your dark night of the soul, right? My example is PLR, right? So when I was coming out of dark night of the soul, spirit guided me to create PLR, and this is how I follow my purpose, right? So a blessing on the children and your challenges or obstacle, Leo. Yes, definitely could say your children are driving you crazy. There's some issue, maybe. But I don't necessarily think that's it. I think it's more about the thing that you created, the thing. And let me tell you why. Because remember at the beginning, I said that I take all 12 readings, all 12 signs, and I correlate them with my birth chart. My birth chart, Leo, is my second house assets. It's the things I own. It's the things I have. My business would be one of those things. So, Leo, this week after this full moon, you definitely could learn some truths about the challenges that you've had in the thing that you've tried to create, that you've birthed, that you've used to follow your purpose since your spiritual awakening journey began, right? All right, a blessing of forgiveness is coming out for lesson learned, and the outcome, a blessing on the earth. Wow. So I got it like right away. And sometimes I get it and I don't want to like just say what I got, because it's like, am I, I feel like people, I gotta stop thinking what, like worrying about what people will think. Um, but I feel like people would be like, oh, well, that's just because it works in her favor, or it's going to be good for her, so that's why she thinks that. I really try to break these cards down as much as possible to show you like why I see it that way, right? Um, there is something that I need to forgive and ask for forgiveness from, that could be challenging the thing that I created. I would not be surprised if I learned about that this week. Again, Mercury retrograde. And I believe that once I learn that information, I'm able to offer that forgiveness and ask for my own. I will be able to ground that energy into a new start. It's the number 1 card. So Leo, you find some truth, you're able to forgive. And again, you may also be asking for forgiveness. You ground that energy and you start over. I see that? The 9 of Cups flies out. So the truth that you find is divine wishes being granted. So most likely you've asked Spirit to show you something. For blessing on the children, we have the Hanged Man. The Hanged Man is stuck energy. It's the Hanged Man, when you see him, he's, especially in the Gilded Tarot, you see how he's losing those coins? It's this energy where you feel like if you make a move, you're going to lose something. So you just stay froze. Again, if I'm using PLR as an example, I've been very cautious. I've been very cautious for the past 5 years on this channel, and really with PLR in general. It's a very challenging and vulnerable thing to have to put yourself out there in this way. A lot of people think that I do PLR because I want to, or I want to be famous. um, or a lot of people think that I want to be, you know, some big social media person. A lot of people think a lot of crazy shit, okay? But I promise you that this is my purpose. This is my awakening. This is what Spirit has called me to do. And that's why I do it. But it's also why I don't put my face on the camera often. It's also why I try to not say things. It's also why I am scared to talk about my own personal journey or the people in my own personal journey. I joke about it on the shorts all the time, you know, that I'm going to one day. But I'm actually very, very cautious. And another thing I feel that Spirit has been showing me for the last couple of weeks now is that I need to push that. I need to push that boundary. I need to get out of my comfort zone, right? All right, so a blessing on forgiveness is lesson learned to help you with the challenge or obstacle. We have Seven of Pentacles coming out. Seven of Pentacles is a card that says, please be patient. You're almost there. A lot of times when I'm doing your private readings, I did one today, where I get this Seven of Pentacles energy. I feel like you're fixing to throw in the towel. I feel like you're fixing to quit. Again, remember, this is my second house assets. Sometimes I want to quit all day, every day. And then sometimes I'm like, that's not even an option. I don't even think about it. So I get it. But the Seven of Pentacles is that card. It literally means you're almost there. Remember, the Ten of Pentacles is the goal. The Eight of Pentacles says you're almost there. The Seven comes right before the Eight. You're so close. You're so close, Leo. This is not the time to throw in the towel. And you may even be needing to forgive yourself for wanting to quit or not pushing yourself as much as you should have, right? All right, a blessing on the earth. We have the Emperor. This is leadership. This is taking control. And I know that it's normally the High Priestess that is like the knowing, right? But with the Emperor and the Gilded Tarot, you see how he's got that scroll? It's like you have all the information now, Leo. You have all the information. All right, so you find the truth out about the thing that you've been trying to create or birth or push through. The Love card comes out. I commit to the practice of seeing the good in all things. The Failure card comes out. I understand that a mistake is only an opportunity to learn. All right, I've seen it flip. Numerology to close it out for Leo. It's time to take action. So big confirmation there. New moon in Aries. And look at this. Your hard work is paying off. New moon in Capricorn. Remember, today is the full moon in Capricorn. All right, Leo, I'm going to leave that right there. I hope that was helpful. I try to rush through these, and I feel like Spirit makes me slow down. It's like there's so many of them, you know what I mean? It's like I'm like trying to get through them in a decent amount of time, and it's like, no, we're gonna slow down now. All right, Sagittarius. Let's do 2955. No, Buster, go lay down. I gotta get a picture of Buster and show you guys this huge mastiff. I love him already. I used to really not even like be an animal person. But then you have spiritual awakening and they start talking to you, and it's like, what are you supposed to do then? You know what I mean? Like, what do you do now? All right. Sagittarius, energy of the week. I have a blessing on your creativity, and it's number 19. Something about the way she looks. She's draped in this beautiful robe. It looks very luxurious, like, and she has this long red hair. Um, it looks like there's some type of garnet of some type on her hair, and she's playing a flute. It's giving this very hippie-ishy type of vibe. All right, challenge or obstacle. You have a blessing for the right words. That could be why you're struggling with your creativity, or needing to come up with like a new way of saying something. All right, let's look at lesson learned to help you with the challenge or obstacle. We have a blessing on a resolution. These cards are, oh my gosh, spot on, y'all. My moon sign is in Sagittarius. All right, and now let's do the outcome. Why we never did these like this before, I don't know. I've always used these for guidance cards. Like, why? Why do that? A blessing for solace and hope is on the bottom. All right, ready? My moon sign. So your moon controls your emotions. My emotions have been up and down like a freaking roller coaster. And at times about things that are not in the present. So it's like I know that I'm not supposed to be stressing about past issues. And I shouldn't be stressing about things that haven't happened yet. I know all these things, right? But Spirit has been putting all of my, I don't want to say failed relationships, and I don't mean like I don't mean like sexual relationships. I mean like relationships in general, friends, family, intimate relationships as well, boyfriends, whatever, ex-husband, all these relationships like have been shown to me in some shape, way, form, or fashion. I will say that I know that Mercury retrograde is here, so a lot of that energy could just be those people's energy, like reaching back, right? When you take your energy from someone, you will notice, them trying to call, like, get it back, right? That's why we always say, like, call your energy back, right? Um, so that could be a thing, but it's so much and it's so often and it's so spirit-ishy. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so do-goody. Like, I'm not, I'm getting in trouble. But it's like, you know, if you don't have a peaceful conclusion in a relationship, it can cause you friction. It can cause like internal like shit that I don't understand that Spirit's trying to tell me right now. um I don't know what's happening with these lives, let me tell you. But I've just been seeing a lot of, I need to clear that up. I need to clear it up. I need to give it closure. I need to apologize or ask for forgiveness if that's needed. I need to accept forgiveness, like, offer forgiveness to someone. If they apologize, or even if they don't, I need to just do that, right? And then I need to be able to close that chapter. Whenever we leave relationships or friendships or family ships, and we don't speak our truth first, then it's like this door is still open. You know what I'm trying to say? And it kind of lingers, and their energy can like come and go. And it's like you need to just, you know what I mean? Like, just find full closure here, Sagittarius. And I'm not saying, like, when I say find full closure, I'm not saying cut somebody off. I'm not saying that at all. I mean, if they deserve it, do what you have to do to enforce your boundaries. But what I'm saying is, find a way to use the right words that will bring peace to you one way or another, right? It's not about bringing peace to them because we're not people pleasing, we're not enabling. They need to go heal themselves, right? But whatever you need to do to bring peace to yourself. All right, let's look at it. A blessing on your creativity. The two swans are sticking out to me. And the moon card comes out. Cancer energy. I almost thought that was the Lovers card for half a moment. That would have been some scary stuff, right? But the moon comes out and it's saying that there are intense emotions. Maybe emotions are just getting out of, I don't know, like out of control. People are getting angry. People are getting frustrated. People are sad. You know, they're just, the emotions are at an extreme level, right? So you're needing to find a creative way, which just means a different way, right? Because whatever you've been doing isn't working, Sagittarius, to be able to express those emotions, right? Like the right words to be able to express those emotions. Temperance comes out, healing energy, Sagittarius energy. We have Two of Pentacles. I picked the Gilded Tarot. So normally in Two of Pentacles, we see like he's trying to balance on one foot and he's struggling to get his grounding. On Two of Pentacles, you have your grounding. You know what to do, what to say to bring healing and closure to a situation. What happens most of the time is our emotions or the other person's emotions shake our foundation, and then we question our boundary, and then we let it go and we don't enforce it. So with the Two of Pentacles here, you may not have a lot to work with here, Sagittarius, but you know how to find the right words to bring the healing, like I said earlier, that you need. And that needs to be the focus. That needs to be the focus, Sagittarius. All right, a blessing for solace and hope. We have the Queen of Cups. So the Queen of Cups is big confirmation of everything I just said, because this is the unconditional love. You love this person unconditionally, but you're not going to let them, you're not going to go without finding a resolution, right? It also is a card that says that you know you need to fill your cup first. You need to take care of you first. Let's talk about that for a second, because that's another lesson that Spirit's been giving me. Seven of Pentacles is on the bottom. Something about patience. All right, so how many of you guys are helpers? Like, how many of you in here listening to me are helpers? I'm a helper. I feel like I've been a helper my whole life. I was 4 years old when my mom had the first child that she couldn't take care of. I'm just saying. I love her. Bless her heart. She's sitting right here next to me in the spiritual way, right? She passed in 2011. But my point here is I've been a helper since I was 4 years old. Stop helping people. Yeah, I know. That's crazy, right? I just said that out loud. Diana says I used to play the flute years ago. No way. But oh yeah. But yeah, stop helping people. Like, we are constantly, and I'm not telling you you're going down the street and you see the man and his dog with the sign and they need food and water. I'm not telling you drive by and ignore them people. Okay. If God pushes you and tells you, hey, stop and help that man, then stop and help that man. But what I'm telling you is stop being the helper. Stop being the fixer. All we're doing is enabling these people. That's it. That's all we're doing. That's the biggest aha moment I've had for my 46 years of life, is that all I've done this entire time, I enabled my mother not to take care of the rest of her children. I enabled everything. Everything has just been enabling people to not do the shit that they need to do. And now we have a world full of people that don't know how to do shit. Is everybody with me? Stop. Stop doing that. If you want to help so bad, go find a stranger on the side of the road that doesn't get any help ever. Do you see? Go find an animal. Go help give an animal a bath. Go do something different. Stop helping those people around you, your friends, your family, the same people that need the same thing all the time. Stop doing that. All right. That made me mad. Like when I learned that and I realized when Spirit showed me that, I was so hurt, frustrated. Oh my God. Guilt. Let go of the guilt. All right. I release any beliefs that no longer assist my soul's growth. This is factual. I mean, I can't. Spirit has got my back today. Success is here. I know that there's no greater goal than to love. You see that? I know that you think you're loving them by allowing them to do the things all the time, over and over. And you just want to love them and be kind and show them compassion and understanding and see their, what's that stupid word I use all the time? Their potential, right? Stop that. Stop doing that. Stop. Spirit also showed me, it's not their potential, by the way. It's not their potential. Are you ready for this? It's going to knock you out of your chair. It's your potential. It's what you would do if you were in their shoes. Yeah. It's not even their potential, man. All right. Nothing will come of the situation. Okay. For Sagittarius, enforce your boundary. Say the right words. Bring resolution. Do not let the door keep swinging open. Close that door and force your boundaries in a very compassionate, kind, and understanding way. Replenish yourself. Focus on yourself. Do not have guilt for not enabling somebody, right? Have guilt if you are enabling them. If you're enabling somebody, you're literally causing the whole world more strife. Stop doing that, right? Nothing will come of the situation is more like you're worried that if I say something, if I stand up for myself, if the right words are too loud or they're too blunt or they're too true, right? Then that person is going to get upset with me and then this is going to happen. And then that, no. Confidence is your key to success. That's it, Sagittarius. I'm going to leave it right there. That one was on the money. It's not me, y'all. It's Spirit. I'm just learning to listen more. And I'm learning to say the things more. Like sometimes I'm like, I don't want to say that. I don't want to tell people to stop helping. You know what I mean? But it's so true, y'all. It's so true. She said that reading was hitting a home run for me. As soon as you said something earlier, I had to run back through there. Yeah, right? Love it. Love it. All right, water signs. Here we go. Get ready. I don't know. It's like I do this, guys. It's like I surrender and then I start doing what Spirit tells me to do and I start saying what Spirit is allowing me to say. And I feel like the best readings come out. But then I feel like I'm being so mean or so harsh. Or, you know, I watch other tarot readers and they're like, oh, money's going to come out of the sky today. You're going to meet your 14th soulmate and you're going to have a shopping trip in the Cancun. And you know what I'm saying? And it's like, where is she reading that from? Like the sky is falling out of the world right now. Like, what is she talking about? I heard this thing the other day, y'all, that I don't know where the draw is coming from. Get back. But I heard this thing the other day that there's some current in the ocean that is turned or something. And it's like, I don't know if this is true, y'all. I haven't done the research yet. I just came across it. It was probably on TikTok, so who knows? But I saw it and I was like, if that's, you know, that can't be true, right? Because if that's true, you know, like our currents and our oceans, our waters flow a certain way for a reason. That's what kind of keeps us, you know, this world spinning the way it does, right? And so it's like, you know, If that's true, then we got we got bigger problems than US politics. You know what I'm trying to say here? So I don't know. It's just like when I do the things and I do it right, I feel like the readings come out great and the information is helpful. But when I come out here and try to like be like other people or try to sugarcoat or try to make it like, I don't want to be mean to Sagittarius and be like, hey, you need to, stand up for yourself and stop worrying about whether somebody's going to leave or not. If they do, they weren't meant to be there anyway, right? That's harsh. It's harsh sometimes. And everybody's like, oh, but we want to hear it. We want to hear it. But do you? Were you here last week? Were you here last week or the week before that? Do you come every week? You know what I'm saying? Do you really want to hear it? I don't know. I don't know, y'all. Ooh, Morgan's blessing of peace after battle. How many of you guys are learning about the Morgan? Totally taking it. Cancer energy. All right, guys. The kids are home, so if you hear the dogs, my apologies. Let's timestamp. Let's do 4616 for Cancer. And I was shuffling and just automatically flipped it over. The Morgan's blessing for peace after battle. The battle has happened. The worst of the worst has happened, Cancer. I seen this other, like a meme or something that said, how do you go through life just so calm and chill, like nothing bothers you? And the lady said, because the worst thing that I was scared of happening happened. So it's like, I have nothing else to fear, right? I totally feel this, guys. I'm a Cancer rising. I totally understand this. It's like, I fought so hard to keep this one thing together that I didn't, if you got to fight that hard, let that shit go, right? But I didn't know that. And I just kept trying and kept trying and kept trying. And I was so fearful of what would happen if I couldn't do it, right? And then it happened. The sun still came up the next day. All right, challenge or obstacle. A blessing on the senses that gift the world to you. That's in your challenges or obstacles. Lesson learned. It's also number 7. It could have something to do with some karmic energy. That's giving you some Saturn energy as well. We have number 42, a blessing for healing of injury or illness. I love how she's wearing that mask. Let's talk about that. Don't let me forget, Spirit. And then outcome, a blessing on your family. Wow. 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 A blessing on your intuition, number 8, is on the bottom. Okay, a blessing on your senses that gift the world to you. You have gifts and you haven't used them, Cancer. Like, I don't know if everybody can talk to the dead people. I've done it since like 4 years old, right? But I, for the longest time, just thought that everybody saw and heard the things. And then there was a period in my, like my teenage years when I had friends and was, staying the night and had best friends and we'd talk about everything. And then I realized, oh, it's not everybody. And people think you're weird if you do. So I started keeping it hush hush, right? And that was in my teenage years. And then I had children, and my children experienced and saw and heard things. And then I wondered, like, is it lineage? Like, is it genetics? Is it in my family? Like, I don't know. But here's what I do know. What I do know, Cancer, is that we all have gifts and abilities. Everything we need is within us. I've heard that from Spirit since the very, very beginning. When I get ready for these lives, I say this little mantra. I have this little thing that I sit down. I'm calling in my angels, my ancestors, my spirit guide. Today, when I sit down, Spirit said, "We're all right here. We're all right here. We sat down with you. We're all in here." You see what I'm saying? There's no need for me to go, "Oh, blah blah blah. I need you to come over here and hang out with me." No, they're here right now, all the time, right? The reason that the blessing on the senses that gift the world to you is in your challenges or obstacle, Cancer, is because you're not using your gifts. You're not using the gifts or the things that you're extra sensitive about to your benefit. You're not, you don't know, maybe. You're not practicing. You can't not know. I don't feel like you could not know. Like all of a sudden, one day you're not psychic, the next day you are. You know, I don't think that's a thing, right? You have a feeling that something is different about you, and whatever it is, whether it's psychic, whether it's all the clears, whether it's the dead people, whether it's and I should stop saying it like that. Have mercy, the people that have passed on. Um, but you know what I'm saying? They have it. That's the thing, though, is they have it. Right? It doesn't work that. I mean, I don't know. I swear, I'm gonna have be like, we're gonna have to start some sort of like teaching class or something. I don't know. But anyway, I feel like that is in your challenges or obstacle, and it definitely could have caused you, like you could have been going through some battles, and you didn't use your abilities or gifts for whatever reason. Again, the number 7, so Saturn and karma is coming around, and I don't mean like karma, like, oh, you did something bad, so something bad happens to you. No, that's not what I mean at all. I mean like karmic lessons, karmic people. Like, for example, you could have been in a relationship where you saw all the red flags, but you chose to ignore all of them, right? Let's stick with that. A blessing for healing of injury or illness is in your lesson learned to help you with that challenge or obstacle. So you're going through some type of healing period now, right? Like that's what's happening now. And a blessing on your family is the outcome. So a lot of times there's this card in here. It's a Cancer card as well. It says something about your family safe. Whenever I get those energies, it's like you feel like something is happening within your immediate family, like spouse, children, that type of energy, right? I do feel that this is the outcome of something. I do feel that this is the week that you're going to choose to start using those gifts or abilities. And let's talk about the blessing for healing of injury. That's probably the why you're going to start using it, because you realize there's someone around you, Cancer, that needs you to help them heal or something, right? The mask that she's wearing. I want to talk to you guys about something. And Cancer, this could pertain to this. I feel like it's usually it does, right? Um, Something I noticed today, and it's not the first time I've noticed it. I've actually talked about this in a live previously. And it's a true thing. I've looked it up. There's books, there's research, there's doctors, there's scientists, all the things. But and I don't want to use the labels, but Cancer, if you've been in an abusive relationship of any kind, whether it's emotional abuse, physical abuse, mental abuse, I don't care, any kind of abuse. A lot of times the word narcissist is thrown around in this area, right? If you've been in any type of relationship like this, one, you wear a mask, right? Because it's embarrassing and you don't want people to know. And two, once you get so much, like once your body is full and it cannot take any more shit, it physically starts to, I don't know what the word is that I'm trying to like think of. But it your body shows you signs. Your body starts to show you physical symptoms and physical signs. This could all be about you. you could have been in some type of narcissistic relationship where you chose not to pay attention to the red flags. And now you're having to spend this time healing yourself. And it is an injury, by the way. Anytime that you're in these long-term abusive relationships, doctors, they've already come out and stated it causes physical brain damage. Physical brain damage. Not like something you just make up in your mind, like your brain has physical freaking damage. And Cancer, I remember reading that damage could come through and show in the exterior, like on your face. One of the signs was that you have a droopy eye. Not a lazy eye, not something you were born with, but the eye itself is lower than the other. The eyebrow itself is lower than the other. It's normally the right side. And the way I understood it was because as you're taking on all of this abuse, this part of your brain is overworking itself trying to figure this shit out, right? I swear to you, I'm not making this up. Cancer. There was a time a while back, who knows, it could have been like around January, December, November of last year, where I made the comment that I noticed there was an extreme visible effect to my right eye. And when I would do my makeup, it had me so self-conscious about myself. Like, what was happening? I looked like all of a sudden I had a lazy eye, or like I had a stroke. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. It was just unusual. It was weird. I didn't know what to do about it. I couldn't do my makeup. Like, there's no eyebrow I could do to fix that shit. Today, I was doing my makeup, and my freaking face is even, man. My face is even. And I know this sounds so stupid, but I'm healing. Like, I'm physically, literally healing. The tension in my face is gone. I'm not having to overthink, what is this person lying to me about? What is this person trying to fight with me about? What is this person going to attack me next with? I don't have to do that anymore. And I'm healing. Again, that may or may not have anything to do with Cancer, but I feel like it does. All right, so the Hierophant comes out for Morgan's blessing of peace after battle. This is spiritual energy. This is spiritual beliefs. It's also spouse, husband, right? A blessing on the senses that gift the world to you. Queen of Cups. This is about pouring into yourself, taking care of yourself, filling your cup first. That could have been what you were not doing and why this card is in your challenges or obstacle. A blessing for healing or injury. We have the Sun card. Something could be being illuminated or shown to you in a spotlight is being put on it right now. This could also be saying that this is you healing and finding your happiness. I know that's what it means for me. And we have the Death card here. We have the Death card coming out with a blessing on your family. Does that mean that there is a family breaking up? I don't know. Mine did. Mine did. And I fought tooth and nail, blood, sweat, tears. Here's what I know about the Death card. Ready? It's death and rebirth. Whenever something ends, something new begins. Every time. It never fails. Scorpio energy coming out strongly. Aries energy, Taurus energy, Leo energy. Let's do some guidance. Surrender. I can release the need to control, abundance, I'm a limitless being and I can manifest whatever I desire in this physical reality. And the freaking loneliness card. I know that I am never alone. So I just made I just gave the statement that I, call the peoples in, and I sat down and Spirit was like, hey, we're already here. You don't need to do all that stuff every time. And I was like, oh, okay. And it's not like we don't need to have respect. Like, I feel that a lot of times people put on these types of shows and they do all this, calling in of their angels and their spirit guide because it's, out of respect, right? I'm not saying don't have respect. I'm just saying there's no need for, and I feel like I've known this. That's why I never do it on camera. There's no need for this, I don't know, display is what I'm saying. Like, it needs to be meant sincerely. It doesn't matter. You could do all that stuff and not have good intentions. You could do all that stuff and not have sincerity. You know what I'm trying to say? So it's like God is more worried about the sincerity than he is whether you're lighting candles and having incense blowing. You see what I'm trying to point out here? All right, moonology. The loneliness. I'm in it. I'm in it, and OMG, I'm at the very beginning, y'all. I'm at the very beginning. I try to go out because that's what I do. I run from one relationship to another. I couldn't do it. It wasn't. I just wasn't allowed. I couldn't. It didn't work. I'm sure the person was fine. They had. I feel like we all had a good time. Everybody had. Like I went out. We had twice. We ate. Food and listened to music. We had a good time. But I'm not doing that again. Right, like that. I knew that the whole time that it just wasn't for me. People have been telling me for probably since my divorce that it's okay to be on your own. It's okay to be single. That I need this time on my own, and I was like, no, I need a man. I don't know how you can be there by yourself. F that. I'm not doing that. That was all wrong, right? Like, I am finally to the point where I understand that I do need to spend time on my own. I understand that there's not going to be like a healed man out there that doesn't lie, cheat, steal, fail drug tests, all the bad things, and gonna want someone who's like broken, right? Like, what man out there that has all his shit together, right? Pays his bills, doesn't live with his parents, you know what I'm saying? Like, does all, like, what person out there is gonna want like broken Rosa who can't keep her shit together, doesn't know how to function in the world, right? Like, I have to heal and I have to get my shit together, and then I go out there and find the person. Like, it's taken me this entire time to figure that out. But the reason is because I didn't like the loneliness. I was like, I can't handle the loneliness. I don't want to be alone. I need somebody to talk to. I found you all. Thank you for listening to me when I talk. Um, but yeah, it's like, you're not alone. And if you're so focused, like for me, I was so focused on the thing that I didn't have that I was calling myself lonely while I was surrounded by people and friends and family and animals, and you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not lonely. There's not a space in this house ain't covered by something that's got a heartbeat. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not lonely. But I think when we put our focus in the thing we don't have, we're like, oh my gosh, everything's so bad because of this one thing. It's like, no, that's not it. So it's definitely about finding some type of new perspective, understanding you are not alone ever, literally, right? Vanessa says, I love being by myself. It's peaceful. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. I'm starting to understand what you ladies meant by that. I'm getting there. All right. Work through your fears. I think that it's very possible, Cancer, that you're just scared to be alone, right? New moon in Scorpio, and a win-win outcome is forecast. Full moon in Libra. Emotions are running high is on the bottom. All right. That was lengthy. I hope it was helpful. Yes, Diana says, I believe you got to be happy with yourself before you can be happy with others. That's another thing. I was not one of those people that like put myself, I was like, I'm good. Like, I love myself. I'm good. I'm healing. I understand I'm going to make mistakes. I love myself. I do self-care and I do yoga, remember? Um, um, you gotta laugh at yourself, y'all. You have to. um, but I don't know. It's different. It was different. It wasn't. I didn't realize that. Yes, I'm healing. Yes, I do love myself. But imagine how much more I'm gonna love myself. You know, a couple years of pouring into myself instead of pouring out into others, right? Here's why I procrastinated Cancer. Because Scorpio's next. Oh my gosh, Vanessa says yes. No one's snoring next to me. I think I'm the one that snores. See, I was married to someone who, for a very long time, who snored so loud, just like his mother. They could just like take the roof off, right? And I feel like I don't know. People didn't say anything about my snoring because his was so loud. I guess maybe I don't know. But then I dated and I had a couple relationships, and that's why I fought so hard for this last one, because I was like, oh my God, this one can't fail too, right? Um, and so, um, anyway, the last one told me I snore, and I was like, what? I don't snore. No. You know, not everything was truthful. So I've never recorded myself, but I got a pretty good feeling. I feel like I woke myself up a couple of times. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying it's like the raise the roof kind of snore, but I definitely feel like, sometimes I have a little sound to my sleep. All right, Scorpio. Ooh, let's just wait for it. 107 even. The sevens are definitely giving Saturn, and they're definitely giving karma. And the numerology and definitions of the energetics, that matches. So Scorpio, here's another thing. Karma is cause and effect. It does not mean that you did something bad, so bad things are happening to you. People need to stop telling people that. I feel like a lot of the times we can't get through a day of our spiritual awakening because we got the wrong labels on the wrong shit. You know what I'm saying? Karma is just cause and effect. Something happened and it causes something, right? That's it. But you're definitely dealing with some type of discipline and karma. Ooh, man. All right, here we go. Have freaking mercy. Help me say it better. Saturn is discipline. I'm just going to give you like the true definition. And then that way I'm not just saying this like to be mean or to be pointing out Scorpio or any of that. Saturn is discipline. Saturn is also Father Time. Saturn is the planet that represents karma. You could be experiencing, help me out here. You could be experiencing something in your, like the outside, in your world, right? And it could be, have mercy. All right, I'm just going to spit it out. Give me the courage. Okay, ready? You're seeing something that's bad and hard and challenging and maybe even painful in your world, in your current circumstances. And it may not necessarily be impacting you personally, but you're seeing it around you. It is definitely a sign from spirit that all of that stuff you see around you is a warning for you. Okay, so let me think of a better example than the one I'm seeing in my head. Have mercy. Okay, so if you are, I got it. Are you ready? Oh, it's going down. If you're a drunk and you drink at work and you hide that you drink at work, and I don't know, Tom in the office next door just got busted for drinking at work and he just lost his job, God's showing you that you're next. Yeah, that's it. That's Saturn. That's karma. You're getting a warning. You're getting a warning. So what's happening right now that's very hard? It's Saturn. So it's not fun. It's challenging. It could even be painful. It could seem karmic. What's happening around you is your friend, like what is happening to your friends, your family, your close ones, what are you seeing around you? And God's telling you right now to pay attention to what's happening all around you, because if you don't pay attention and you don't take this opportunity to fix your shit right now, you're next. All right. Have freaking mercy. Number 22, a blessing on a journey is your energy of the week. Challenge or obstacle, a blessing to find your way. A blessing to find your way. This is one of the most painful cards in this entire set. She's dragging her naked body through the thorns on the ground of the forest. There's something about your body. There's something you need to take care of. There's something you need to stop. Are you dragging your naked body through the thorns? And if you are, for what? For why? A blessing of protection. I'll tell you right now, you're highly protected. I'm highly protected. Look, Miss L's joining us. She's highly protected. But God don't play. God don't play. When God knows that you know, that's it. A blessing on your health. I mean, God's got my back today. Scorpio, God's got my back today. A blessing to ease loneliness and bring companionship is on the bottom. You're missing someone. Man, the Scorpio is always, I can't imagine. I don't ever want to be reincarnated as a Scorpio sun or a Scorpio rising. And if I was ever to be incarnated with both, have all the mercies. Miss L, welcome. All right, let's look at it. A blessing on a journey, number 22, Scorpio. Two cards come out. The Knight of Wands and Queen of Pentacles. This is about doing something reckless, something that you already know could have something to do with a masculine. All right, a blessing to find your way. The Hierophant comes out. This is the light. This is spirit. Are you listening to your spiritual guidance? Why is this in your challenges or obstacle? Remember I said you're highly protected, but once spirit knows, that you know, I mean, I don't want to say that you won't be protected, but I mean, you're going to experience something. The Knight of Wands, it's passion, it's reckless. The blessing to find your way, you need to do something a different way. Queen of Pentacles is you need a new resource, a new way of doing something. You need to learn a new way. You need to give yourself a new opportunity. You need to do something. The blessing of protection, that's why I move them, is because I know that once Spirit knows that you know that you need to do something, you know that you need to stop dragging your naked body through the thorns. And I don't know what that is. That could be booze. That could be drugs. That could be overeating. That could be freaking who knows. But you're doing it on purpose, and you know that God's not going to allow it. You know that God's going to make you stop one way or another. This is the most serious reading I have done for Scorpio probably ever. The outcome is a blessing on your health. You have a new opportunity here. It's like God saying, I'm giving you one more chance. Here's your one more chance. One more chance, Scorpio. Doubt is here. I release the need to know all the answers. Honesty is here. I can't always expect the truth from others, but I can expect it from myself. Twitch coming in. Oliver Hart. All right, Scorpio. It's time to release negativity. Full moon in Scorpio. I don't know what you're holding on to, Scorpio, that you need to let go of, that you already know you need to let go of, but Spirit is literally showing you everybody coming down around you. It's your turn. You're next in line. You have one last chance to get your shit together. That's it. That's Scorpio reading. I hope that was helpful. My Scorpio, 5th house. I've been in the process of rebranding. I've been in the process of expanding my business. I've been in the process of trying to find new creative ways to do so. I've been in the process of realizing I'm going to give myself romance. I'm going to buy myself flowers. And I've been in the process of mending my relationships with my children. 5th house. All right. Pisces is next. Ooh, let's wait for it. 11818. I just seen the 8-8 portal. So Pisces, we just had the 7-7 portal. The 8-8 portal right around the corner. I don't know why this would be coming up right now. 8-8 portal is definitely about manifestation. I'm super nervous about it as we move into all these retrogrades. Not that it's going to impact it. If God says it's going to be, it's going to be. He doesn't care what planet we think is in retrograde. But I will say, Pisces, there's something about the 8-8 portal that is sticking out strongly. All right. Challenge or energy of the week. A blessing on your love. It's number 17. Look at the Capricorn. You see that? Guys, today's the 10th. We're live streaming on the Capricorn full moon. All right. Challenge or obstacle. A blessing from your ancestors. A blessing for peace of mind is lesson learned. And your outcome is a blessing to shield and safeguard you. A blessing to bring clarity is on the bottom. This is clearly about some type of love relationship. When I pulled the blessing from your ancestors, I got this weird feeling, Pisces, like you have this energy of, I did do Leo already. Oliver, we did the fire signs first. But I got this energy like, and we're a week ahead. We're a week ahead. So if you're looking for what's happening this week, that was last week's video. And those are over on my YouTube channel if you need to find those. A blessing on your ancestors, Pisces. When I seen this card, I felt this energy like you felt like you've been left behind. Like maybe you didn't have ancestral support, and maybe like they weren't here helping you in the present. All of that. None of that is true, but that's what I felt from the Pisces when I turned the card. A blessing for peace of mind. I think this is the week that Spirit's going to show you how loved you are. Spirit's going to show you where your ancestors are, where they've been this whole time. Remember, at the very beginning of this live, I said that I tend to sit down and call all my spirit guides and angels and ancestors and yada yada. And before the live, I never do it on camera because I don't feel like we're supposed to be doing this big old presentation, Lulu Lala stuff. But it's something that I do. When I sat down today, Spirit was like, hey, we're here. We're always here. You're not calling in anybody. You're a part of us. We're a part of you. We're always here. I was like, oh, okay. Peace of mind. I think that's what you're going to figure out this week. And then a blessing to shield and safeguard you. I do feel like you are in need of some type of protection. And it's very possible, Pisces, that this is the week that your ancestors show you just how powerful they are, right? All right, a blessing on your love. We have the star coming out. This is Aquarius energy, so it's like bright hope for the future, a clean slate as well. A blessing for your ancestors. We have 7 of Swords. There's some type of disbelief or distrust. I feel like it's very possible someone has been keeping something from you or not telling you whole truths. And I feel like very, in a spiritual sense or in a spiritual way, you're going to find out what those lies are. And that's what's going to give you that clean slate and hope for your future, right? A blessing for peace of mind is here. 10 of Pentacles is going to have something to do with finances or money. Somebody could have been keeping money or hiding money. A blessing to shield or safeguard you is like you're going to be protected from now on because you have this information. We have 6 of Pentacles. 6 of Pentacles says that now something is being made fair. You always see like he's passing out the coins. It's like something is being made even, is what I'm being told. 2 of Cups is on the bottom. This could have something to do with a partnership. All right, Pisces, let's do guidance. The growth card comes out. I want to expand my consciousness and my awareness. Indecision comes out. I use my intuition in all aspects of life. This is a yin and a yang, or a up and down. This is a, you can't have growth if you have indecision. Just pointing that out, Pisces. All right, Moonology to help with your thoughts and emotions. Definitely an emotional week for Pisces. I almost thought the star card was the moon card. Step out of your comfort zone. It's the North Node. I would say if this reading is like pulling at some heartstrings, go look and see on your birth chart, where is your North Node? A time to give rather than take. It's new moon in Virgo. On the bottom, conclusions are within reach. All right, Pisces, I'm going to leave that right there. I hope that reading was helpful. I'm really liking this Blessed Be Oracle for the main spread. It's like I said at the beginning of the live, we need all the blessings we can get. I will say in one of my morning meditations, I was definitely complaining to Spirit Source about the state of the world. And I always get this message that like we asked to be here during this time, that we were called upon, and we said yes, we would go down here, and our souls would transmute, and we would turn this, you know, I don't even want to say turn the darkness into light, because it's not even what we're doing. And it's like I finally understand that it's just about, we're bringing balance. So when I'm here, me, Rosa, and Miss L, and Diana, and maybe Oliver over on Twitch, and Sandra, right? When we are down here and we are going through our soul's journey, the path that we're on, when we awaken and we start healing ourselves, we are literally balancing out the energy, right? You'll hear a lot of people say there's too much patriarchy in the world, right? And the divine feminine is rising. These are all true things. And that is what's happening. But there are divine masculine as well. Another thing I learned was that the masculine is the light and the feminine is the darkness. There's nothing wrong with our darkness, by the way. It's very much needed. Very much needed. I guess my point is, it's never about one being better than the other or needing more of one than the other. It's always going to be about that Six of Pentacles, the balance, the even amount on both sides. That's what we're doing here. And if we are not here and we're not doing the things, then that becomes unbalanced. Does that make sense? All right, it's time for the earth signs. Dang, already an hour and a half. We gotta go faster. All right, let's do Taurus at 127.27 because I seen it. I say that. And the moment I said we gotta go faster, Spirit's like, no, we don't. All right. Taurus, this is for the week of July 13th through the 19th. Let's get energy of the week. I'm going to use the Blessed Bee Oracle. I have shuffled them all back together, so we may see some that we have already seen. Number 46, Morgan's Blessing of Peace After Battle comes out. Again, it tells me that the battle has already happened. The thing that you feared the most has already happened. This is where you're finding your peace in the aftermath, right? A blessing on your health comes out for the challenge or obstacle. A blessing on your family comes out for a lesson learned, and a blessing to shield and safeguard you. Peace of mind on the bottom. Taurus, you could have experienced something with your health recently. Physical health, mental health, emotional health. I think that's what it was. It was the emotional. And a blessing on your family is a lesson learned to help you with challenge or obstacles. So that means that your close friends and family are the ones that helped you through whatever this health crisis was. Again, I'm getting this energy like it was more of an emotional situation, maybe mental situation, like depression and that type of stuff. A blessing to shield and safeguard you. This is what happens now. I do feel like you're surrounded by some type of very protective energy. All right. Pull a little tarot. So 5 of Wands comes out. Whatever this battle was, it was very challenging you, but it was very challenging for you, but it prepared for you. I'll get some English out in a moment. It prepared you for something. The 5 of Wands is challenges and training. A blessing on your health and your challenge or obstacle. 9 of Cups. Divine wishes being granted. So when that comes in, your challenges or obstacles, it's like you didn't get something you wanted, or something turned out the opposite way than you thought it was going to. So there's this energy of like, I mean, let's say this is a relationship, Taurus, and you know, you wanted the relationship, you wished for the relationship, you prayed for the relationship, and then something happened, and you realize that maybe it caused some type of like emotional health situation, again, like depression, anxiety, PTSD, who knows, right? A blessing on your family is in your lessons learned to help you with that challenge or obstacle, because it's saying that your family is going to protect and support you, right? We have the Empress here, so this tells me there's some type of knowing. It could be children as well. I see the baby unicorn, but the Empress is also about fertility. It's also about creativity and birthing. So there's this energy of like, it could be your children. My children, my boys right now are literally protecting me from my previous relationships. I know that is so vulnerable, and it seems awful to have to say, but I'm so freaking grateful. I'm so grateful. A blessing to shield and safeguard you. We have Five of Cups. So when we see Five of Cups, it does say that you've experienced some type of massive loss, but you learned something. You gained something. Something about the experience that you just went through made you stronger, wiser, and braver. And that's the part of the Five of Cups that you take with you. The Five of Pentacles is on the bottom. It says it's okay to ask for help. Whoa. All right, we have the Fear card. I realize that I am testing my resolve to live in the energy of love. And we have the Freedom card. I possess the power and the free will to create my own happiness. And Moonology to close it out for Taurus. Meditate and contemplate its new moon in Pisces. I'm going to leave that right there, Taurus. I hope that reading was helpful. Diana says, my boys do too. They always have my back. Guess I raised them good. You know what's sad is I recently realized, and it hit me like a ton of bricks right on my forehead, and my heart, that I didn't raise these children on my own. I was actually married for a long time, and when my children were young, when you instill the things in them that they need the most, they had a very good dad. I had a decent husband who was a good father. Life happened and he gave up. And then I gave up. And then he wasn't a decent husband or a decent father. What's sad is that I get to experience my life with my children, and I could not imagine what it would be like for my children to not want to talk to me, or to not call me, or to not visit me. I've had an issue with my oldest son for a good minute, and it's getting better, but it's hard. And I couldn't imagine not reconciling that relationship. I couldn't imagine living my life without my children in it daily. So I feel so sorry for him, honestly. I spend time with my grandson, and I see his face, his features in my grandson that he's never met. And I imagine he's healing as well, and we'll all get there eventually. But to say missing out is a complete understatement. All right, Virgo. Let's do 135.11 because I seen it. So this is going to be for the week of July 13th through the 19th. And I'm going to start with energy of the week. I'm a Virgo rising. Virgo rising. A blessing to bring prosperity. Challenge or obstacle. A blessing on a battle that cannot be avoided. Lesson learned to help you with that challenge or obstacle. A blessing on your boundaries. And the outcome, a blessing of forgiveness. My North Node is in Virgo. And it is my third house. A blessing for solace and hope is on the bottom. All right, Knight of Swords comes out. A blessing to bring prosperity. Knight of Swords is breaking free from something, finding some type of freedom, liberation. A blessing on a battle that cannot be avoided in your challenges or obstacle. Two of Wands. Virgo, you're going to have to make a very important decision. I just heard the word traveling. It's very possible. The Two of Wands does indicate travel. That is one of the meanings of the cards. But the important decision that you have to make could have something to do with traveling. A blessing on your boundaries. That's what's going to help you with the situation. That could be your personal boundaries, like, hey, I don't travel. Or it could just be saying, like, you can travel now because you have these, you enforce your boundaries. You protect yourself better, right? Seven of Cups is here. You have new options, new choices. A blessing on forgiveness. We have Eight of Pentacles. I feel like you're going to get an opportunity to let something go that's been keeping you stuck, and it could have been keeping you stuck financially. I feel like you're going to let that go because you're going to put your focus and dedication into something else. And I feel like that is the freedom and liberation. Your energy was focused elsewhere because there was no forgiveness. Page of Wands is on the bottom. So Virgo, whatever this is about, baby steps, baby steps, baby steps. All right. Guidance. We have the Courage card coming out. I find the inner strength to face fear with confidence. Acceptance comes out. I'm learning to accept the things that I cannot change. Expect powerful change. New moon eclipse is here. A time for healing is here. And here it is. Don't let your past hold you back. It's the South Node. All right, I'm going to leave that right there. I hope that was helpful. All right, Capricorn, this is it. I feel like Capricorn is probably going to be one of the tougher readings, maybe even tougher than Scorpio. I don't know. That was one of the I think, hardest readings for Scorpio that I've probably ever done. But Capricorn, this is your moon. Vanessa, how's it been? How has this moon impacted you? Have you felt it yet? Do you feel like, what full moon? If you're like, what full moon, then it hasn't happened yet. If it's happened, then you already know. All right, Capricorn, let's do 139.29. And this is for July 13th through the 19th. Ooh, trying to fall. A blessing on a resolution. So in other words, there's some type of disagreement, there's some type of argument, there's some type of battle. All right. Challenge or obstacle, a blessing for a fresh start for Capricorn. Clean slate is what I heard. Lesson learned. Whew. A blessing on the earth. Again, number one, again, a new start. And the outcome for Capricorn. A blessing for the right words. Remember, I said Capricorn is my 7th house. I don't have the right words. Like when it comes to relationships. All right, I got to give you an example, Capricorn. Someone said something to me today. They said, you know, Rosa 10 years ago didn't allow your husband, your ex-husband, to do this thing, whatever it is. But then Rosa in this last relationship allowed it all the time. And I said, yeah, because the first Rosa got divorced. So I just didn't say anything about, or I let it go, or I, you know, didn't stand up for myself, didn't, whatever. Because I didn't want some bad thing to happen, right? That ended up happening anyway. There's something here about standing up for yourself, enforcing your boundaries, and giving yourself a clean slate. For some reason, whatever has happened, but you're struggling to give yourself a clean slate. And the interesting part is you already know that if you don't start integrating, implementing what you've learned, you're going to stay stuck and you won't get this new start. You already know it. Again, a blessing on the children on the bottom. Most definitely, Diana. Most definitely. All right. A blessing on a resolution. Knight of Cups. Being courageous enough to tell someone how you feel. I did hear the word reckless. Here's the thing. Knight of Wands. Reckless all the time. Right? Very passionate. Wants to go, go, go. Knight of Cups. Very emotional. But all knights tend to have a recklessness to them. So there's something about telling someone, Capricorn, how you feel in order to give yourself a fresh start, a clean slate, but in a non-reckless way. All right, blessing for a fresh start, 8 of Wands. There could be something could have happened suddenly, but there could also be like something that changes suddenly. A blessing on the earth. We have 9 of Wands. This is stubborn energy, Capricorn. This is you. This is you all day, every day. I know it's really Aries, but I'm just saying Capricorn is so stubborn. Just as stubborn as Aries. Oh my God, put the two together. No wonder my relationship didn't work. He was Capricorn. I was an Aries. But anyway, seriously, it's stubborn energy. It's saying you're doing something the same way over and over and over, and you're expecting a different result. All right, a blessing for the right words, 10 of Pentacles. Focus on your goals and what it is that you want, and that's going to help you find the right words, right? On the bottom, 3 of Cups. 3 of Cups is soul tribe, soul family, soul sisters, spiritual support. It could also say that there's too many people telling you what to do, Capricorn. All right, I was trying to skip over the guidance. Grief. I understand that losing something is an opportunity to appreciate it. Regret. I know that I cannot change the past. Blame. I accept responsibility for my well-being. I like that one. I accept responsibility for my well-being. Bring love into the situation. It's new moon in Aquarius. All right. I'm going to leave that right there. I hope that was helpful. Okay. Air signs last. Can't believe I took so long. I am going to be over on TikTok after this, guys. If you want to come hang out with me, I've seen somebody doing midnight readings last night. And I've been dealing with the insomnia. So what I did last night was I set up the lives so that when I can't sleep and I'm up, I can just hit the button, jump up, do some free readings, and then maybe that'll help me, go sleep. That's my idea anyway. So if you guys got TikTok, make sure to come over, check me out. I want you guys to know, if any of you are thinking about getting on social media or putting your journey out there to help others, whatever it is, I want y'all to know, when it comes based on pay, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok. TikTok is going to be number one. Number one. I can't count how many things we've been approved for over there. But like I live stream one live stream and I get paid like 5 different times for that one live stream without having to do anything else. Well, that's not true. If I make a highlight from the live stream, that I get paid for that too. I'm just saying, like, it's amazing over there. No wonder that buffoon wants to take it away from us, right? All right. Air signs. Let's do 147.14 for Gemini. And this is the week of July 13th through the 19th. Mercury retrograde, I said, was going to be the biggest impact. I feel like I've picked up Saturn several times. I think Saturn was on the 7th, if I remember correctly. Maybe it's the 17th. I don't know. There's so many. They're all happening right now. But Saturn is more of it's a bigger, broader type of energy with its retrograde, as Mercury is something you're going to experience in your day-to-day. And I feel like you're going to notice the Mercury retrograde before you notice any of the other ones. Neptune, you're not going to notice at all because it's just making you confused. All right. A blessing on growing older. That's going to be for Gemini. This is definitely something about wisdom is what I just heard. A lot of times we are hard on ourselves because we're getting older. But what we don't realize is we know more. I would rather be older with wisdom than young with inexperience and lack. Right? Does that make sense? All right, Gemini. Challenge or obstacle, a blessing for support. So you could feel like there's not a lot of support around you right now. A blessing for healing and injury or illness is going to be in your lesson learned. This is Dark Night of the Soul is what I heard. So it's like I'm talking to a Gemini that has already been through Dark Night of the Soul. You could be feeling like you're not supported. And there's a Gemini out there that even thinks that spirit is not supporting them. I'm just saying that's not true. That's just what you feel or what you think. Maybe like you're out there and you're like, oh, I got a good one. So we always say like spirit provides for us, right? Man, come on. whenever there is something that you want that you don't get, it's working in your favor, whether you see that, understand it, or even know about it. And I know that's like, I'm like, here, hold this magic bean, and you're like, okay. I don't know how else I could give you an example. You ever went a day and I don't know, maybe you didn't eat. You didn't eat all day. How am I trying to make this a better fasting? Fasting is good for you. There, that's a good one. You see what I'm trying to say though? Like, you could feel like spirit's not giving you something, but really you didn't need that thing that you thought you needed. Let me try to think of another one. That's the one that works the best for me. When I complain about like not having enough of something, it's like, maybe I needed to go these hours, you know what I'm saying, without whatever to do, whatever, right? But yeah, it's like you've already been through dark night of the soul. So spirit is not helping you. It's spirit's probably not giving you something you want because what you want is out of your alignment. A blessing on your journey is the outcome. So this is very much about getting into alignment, right? Because you start out with a blessing on growing older. So it's like, this is the week, Gemini, that you gain the wisdom to put yourself back into alignment. And if you felt like spirit wasn't showing up or showing out, one, that's not true. But is it possible that you weren't getting an abundance, or you weren't getting extra, or you weren't getting what you wanted because you were trying to do something that was against spirit's will? Like, let's say spirit's will is that spirit wants you to follow your purpose, but you work at a job that takes 80 hours a week, and it has nothing to do with your purpose. Well, you're not able to follow your purpose because all your time is going to that 80-hour week job, right? You see what I'm trying to say here? So it's like, is spirit going to show up and show and be loud and proud while you're off following some the green dollar? Probably not, right? So this could be a week where something about wisdom, you've gained some type of wisdom. You maybe you recall dark night of the soul, right? And you come back into alignment. A blessing on the waters was on the bottom. All right, first card out is Temperance, big confirmation. Temperance is healing. It's also Sagittarius energy. Something could be taking a long time. A blessing for support, Eight of Pentacles. Where's your focus? Where's your focus? Where's your dedication going? What are you dedicated to? Are you dedicated to spirit and your purpose? A blessing for healing, injury, or illness. Something could happen suddenly or quickly. This is lesson learned. So it's like, things change all the time. They change quickly, right? So it's not that spirit's not ever going to show up for you. It's that spirit's not showing up because you're not in alignment at this time. All right, a blessing. And that doesn't mean he's not showing up, because I promise you, the spirit showing up in 1,000 ways you're not focused on. You're not seeing because you're too busy focused on the thing you don't have. All right, a blessing on a journey. We have Six of Swords. This is being guided by spirit to calmer waters. So it's like spirit saying, I hope that you listen to me and you follow the guidance and you come into alignment, right? Spirit's in the boat with you, whether you're taking the boat down the wrong freaking Nile the wrong way, it doesn't matter. Spirit's still in the boat with you, always and forever. But is spirit going to shower you with abundance and make some big pretty fireworks when you start going the right way? Yes, absolutely. Duh, right? All right, Six of Cups is on the bottom. Presence. I heard presence. It could also be reunion, someone from your past.
Gemini is my 12th house, guys. 12th house. Judgment comes out. I understand that everyone has their own unique path and challenges. In other words, yours is going to be different than anybody else's. Envy. I'm the same as everybody, but with different challenges. Definitely could be some envy and why couldn't mine have went the other way? Why did I have to gain this wisdom in such a challenging way, right? It's because you have purpose. Because you have purpose. Moonology to close it out to help with your thoughts and emotions. Definitely an emotional week. I don't really think you're overthinking something. I think at the beginning you are because you're not following Spirit's guidance, but at the end of the week you are. So I think it's more about an emotional aspect. All right, you're very close to achieving your goal. It's the gibbous moon, and believe in the impossible. My absolute favorite, the blue moon. All right, Gemini, I'm going to leave that right there. I hope that was helpful. We have Libra next. So I've been trying to get my, to be able to live stream these on TikTok as well. We did a couple of them over there. But it definitely seems to do better when I'm not multi-streaming, like when it's on its own. But I'm still learning all the buttons over there. I made a comment in one of the lives, the last live that I did. I said, I need to go watch some tutorials. Libra, 2 of Cups comes out. All right, let's timestamp 157 even because I've seen it. That's sticking out to me because Scorpio's was 107 even. It was the only other one that was even. So just pointing that out. All right, and it's wrong. It's 2 of Cups. Look, partnership, equal effort, coming together. But let's use the blessed bee for the spread and not the tarot. I mean, we could definitely do it the other way around. It wouldn't hurt none, right? But I'm really liking the blessed bee for the main spread. All right, a blessing on your creativity, number 19. There's that hippie again. Again, partnership. We've seen the 2 of Cups, but I'm also seeing those 2 swans again. All right, challenge or obstacle. A blessing on your wisdom comes out. This is, I heard repeated cycle, so you're stopping some type of repeated cycle. All right, lesson learned. Ooh, you have a blessing to find your way. We've seen that earlier. I don't even remember which sign it was, but it's the dragging yourself through the thorns, right? It's like you've learned the way. You've learned how to do it in a healthier way, right? All right, Libra. And then the outcome, we have a blessing of fire. Wow. 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 A blessing of peace of mind is on the bottom. This is like Libra stepping into their power. This is like Libra in empowerment. I don't even think that the blessing on your wisdom and your challenge or obstacle is even a challenge or obstacle, Libra. I feel like you drug yourself through the thorns, through the forest, naked, bleeding, did this for however long, for whatever reason, and now you've broken free from that. That's why it's in your lesson learned and not challenge or obstacle, and you've gained wisdom from this situation. I feel like now, Libra, this has something to do with following your purpose, could have something to do with the partnership, equal effort. Maybe you've met someone that meets you, right? Like that, puts in the same amount of effort as you do, right? And I feel like it's very possible this is sparking some type of fire, some type of like ignition switch is what I'm seeing. It's like it's getting you excited about life again. It's getting you passionate and fired up about something. All right, let's do some clarifying with the Gilded Tarot. We have Scorpio energy coming out. So what did I say earlier about Scorpio? The timing. Remember I said Scorpio's was 107, yours is 157. So there's definitely something about Scorpio energy that's coming up. Look on your chart. Where is Scorpio for you? Could have something to do with your creativity in that area of your life. A blessing on your wisdom, Queen of Pentacles. Again, this is not a challenge or obstacle for Libra. Normally, that's what this position is. But I can tell clearly from the reading that this person is starting to follow their purpose. Remember, creativity helps you follow your purpose. That's why Spirit gives you whatever it is that you're creative in, right? And a blessing on your wisdom, Queen of Pentacles. It's like you've learned how to become your own resource. You don't need anyone else. You dragged yourself through something. That's amazing. Beautiful. Look at this. The Lovers. You chose yourself. You could definitely be experiencing some type of soul connection, soul tie energy here. But it's more, remember, the Lovers is not about the other person in the picture. The Lovers is about you. It says that you chose you and you chose to love and heal you, right? So that you can come later into union whole. But right now, this is about you. I feel like you did this already. This is what you've done. This is what you're overcoming. And now it's like, again, ignition switch. Look at that. 10 of Cups. Happy home, happy family. Beautiful, beautiful reading for Libra. I do see the Three of Wands on the bottom. It says that you took practical action. You took steps to bring yourself a better future. I love that. All right, let's pull some guidance for Libra. All right, so then my question to you, Sandra, is where did you take practical action, practical steps to bring balance to your emotions, to bring more happiness to your life, to bring more joy to your life? Did you start becoming more present? Did you start having dinner at the table? Did you start spending more time with your children? You see what I'm saying? Because remember, it's your moon sign. So that's more about your emotions and your feelings. All right, let's do some guidance for Libra. We have relationships, big confirmation. I'm attracted to those people who serve my higher good. That's what's happened. Libra has found a soulmate. All right, let's do nothing is yet set in stone. It's the mutable moon, so don't get too cocky. Don't get too settled. Look at the bigger picture. It's full moon in Sagittarius. All right, I'm going to leave that right there, Libra. I hope that was helpful. And congratulations, Libra. All right, last one, guys. Aquarius. Aquarius energy. Let's timestamp 202:33. This is for July 13th through the 19th. All the retrogrades are on your screen there, Aquarius. A blessing to ease loneliness and bring companionship. You're missing someone. Seen that earlier. All right. Challenge or obstacle for Aquarius. A blessing to bring clarity. You're trying to understand something. Lesson learned. A blessing on the senses that gift the world to you. We saw this card earlier. I don't remember who it was for, but I remember seeing like red flags. So if you're not paying attention to the red flags, I think it was for Cancer. So Aquarius, if you have a strong Cancer placement, I would watch that reading as well, right? I'd watch all 12 of them. Just saying. That's what you're supposed to do. All right. A blessing on your intuition is going to be on the bottom. All right. For Cancer, it was in the opposite. It was over in challenges or obstacles. So they weren't like using their senses. They weren't using their abilities. They weren't using their gifts, their spiritual gifts, to see something clearly, right? Aquarius. I feel one with the blessing on the ease of loneliness and to bring companionship. This is giving me that, you know, the heal yourself reading card, the hole in the soul card. That's what this is giving. Like you're longing for something, you're missing something, you want something back again, something like that. The challenge or obstacle is the clarity. You're not understanding why you're going through whatever it is that you're going through. The blessing on your senses is lesson learned. So this is saying like you need to use your gifts, your abilities to find that clarity. Again, I feel like it's very possible that you already know something. You already know something. If there's clarity needed, maybe you just need to be truthful with yourself about something, right? Because a blessing on your intuition is the outcome. So it's like you already know. On the bottom, a blessing on your love. I want to point out the 8, the 7, the 17. All right, Aquarius. Look at this. Three of Pentacles, alone, doing something on your own. That's that hole in the soul feeling I was feeling, or missing someone. A blessing to bring clarity, doing something for yourself. You don't know how to do something for yourself. You don't know how to, you can't find the way to do something for yourself. Again, has something to do with the masculine. Anytime you see a peacock in the pictures, that's going to represent masculine energy. All right, a blessing on the senses that gift the world to you. This is about you following your calling, hearing your calling, following your purpose, right? That's Scorpio energy, judgment, and a blessing on your intuition. What do you already know, Aquarius? Nine of Cups, divine wishes being granted. You already know that something's going to work out the way it's supposed to work out. It's very possible you're trying to rush something because you're tired of doing something on your own. Seven of Cups is on the bottom. All right, let's do guidance for Aquarius. Woohoo! We have the trust card and the service card. I accept that my inner voice will always guide me correctly. Service, I feel good when I can help others, is here. Don't enable. Don't enable. Aquarius, I don't know what that's about, but don't enable. We had that whole conversation at the beginning of the live. Your commitment is being tested. First quarter moon. Conclusions are within reach. It's full moon eclipse. All right, Aquarius, I'm going to leave that right there. I hope that was helpful. That's it, guys. That's going to be all 12 signs for the week of July 13th through the 19th. Again, please remember the list of retrogrades on your screen. Please don't fear these energies. Please remember that these are an opportunity to revisit this planet's energy. Revisit, revise, restructure, replan, so that you can go forth in a much smoother way, right? Mercury retrograde does start this week, guys. We've been in the shadow periods. Prepare for returns. Prepare to stand your ground. Prepare to not repeat cycles, right? Right? Please remember, it is the full moon tonight. Capricorn full moon is here. Go make your moon water. Set your crystals out. Make sure to cleanse. Do all of the things, right? Don't pass out or pass up this opportunity. Well, don't pass out either, but don't pass up on this opportunity, because this is one of the very, very powerful moons of the 2025 season. Don't let it get past you, right? And next week I will be back. We're going to change a little bit of our schedule next week. I believe Tuesday we're still going to do love and astrology with free readings at the end at 8 p.m. On Wednesday, that's Tuesday. On Wednesday, I'm going to come back and I'm going to do a daytime live. For those of you that it's challenging to join me at night, I completely understand. So I found a day where I can sneak one in around noon. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to spend an hour with you Wednesday at noon, doing a divine masculine Celtic cross reading. So if you want to join me for that. And then Thursday, I will be back with all signs again. Again, it's very possible that our schedule is going to change soon. I have been feeling this energy, like Spirit's about to tell me that something's about to go. But I'm not quite sure exactly what it is just yet, right? And I'm just trying to surrender and be patient, and let Spirit guide the way, right? Like that's what we're supposed to do. All right, guys. TikTok, don't forget to go over and click the little button in the description box. Go over and follow me over on TikTok. Make sure to hit all the buttons over there. I do not have a schedule over there. Like I said earlier, I'm going to practice popping on and just doing some free reading lives over there until I get comfortable. Remember when we first started over here, Miss Al? So I'm super excited to get started over there and just start doing them, right? So if you are subscribed and following me over on TikTok, you may most definitely get a notification very soon, because I am definitely going to go give out some free readings. I love you all. I hope to see all of you guys next week. Thank you so much for coming in here and hanging out with me in this super, super long live. Moderator ladies, thank you so much for coming in and putting in the timestamps. I appreciate you guys so very much. All right, guys, I hope to see you again soon. I'm always, always sending all of you abundant love, and I've decided I'm going to stop saying the light, because you already are the light. I love you.